Hello there everyone, and welcome to another edition of Lydia's Crafty Corner with me, Lydia, in my little crafty corner. So today we're going to be creating a really cool full front shaker card with some foiled acetate. So to start with, I'm going to be creating my background, and I'm going to be using the new Rose Mallow layering stencil. So I'm going to be using the first one first, and I'm going to be using the base of the beautiful rose, and for this I'm going to be using some Peach Perfect, some cotton candy, and also some of that mango smoothie. Now I'm just going to kind of do these really lightly to start with, and I'm just doing a mix of each colour onto this base that we have here. So once I've done that, I can then take the second stencil, and this has the base for the larger rose, and I'm just going to pop that into place exactly the same as I did for the first one. For the leaves, I'm using the one that's on the first stencil, so this is just the singular leaf. And for these leaves, I am going to be using the beautiful sweet leaf and also the Volcano Lake, one of my favorites. And I'm just going to be doing these like I did with the roses, and just kind of adding those colors both really lightly through the stencil. So once I've done that, I can then move on to creating my whole background. So I'm just kind of swapping and changing the stencils out and making sure that everything fits in within that background. So once the base has been done, I'm then going to move on to the second layer. So I'm just going to pop that into place over the coordinating base image that we've just done. And I'm going to be using exactly the same inks that we used for the base. So that is the cotton candy, the Peach Perfect, and also the mango smoothie, but this time I'm adding a little bit more ink through the stencil. So instead of changing colors, we're changing the vibrancy of this by just adding a lot more of that ink. I'm not worrying about having the yellow over the yellow or the pink over the pink. Just as long as I get those colors down, it's going to give us that darker shade. So once I've done the flowers, I can then move on to the leaves, and again, exactly the same as before, I'm just going to pop that stencil into place over the base image, and then I'm going to pop through some of the sweet leaf and also that Volcano Lake ink. So once we finish with the second layers, guess what? We're going to move on to the third, and we're just going to do exactly the same as we did for the second layers. So we're just popping that third layer into place onto the first and second layers. We're going to take the mango smoothie, Peach Perfect, and cotton candy through the roses, and then for the leaves we're going to go with the sweet leaf and Volcano Lake, just adding a little bit more ink than we did for the second layer. So that's going to give us that really great vibrancy and like beautiful kind of gradient look through all of the images. So once we've done that, I'm then going to move on to my acetate. So I have a piece of acetate that's roughly around about 1/2 inch wider on each side of my little panel that we have for the background. I then have the Amazing Things hot foil plate, and I've popped that into my hot foil machine to get nice and warm and up to temperature. I'm then going to place some foil with the foil side down onto the hot foil plate, then my piece of acetate, and then I'm then going to use a couple of shims just to make sure that the pressure is right for my machine. You may need to play around with your machine to get the perfect foiling. I can then remove the shims, and then our little acetate, as you can see there, has been beautifully foiled. I'm then going to pop this into place onto my little background that we have, and I'm just going to tape that down. Reason being, I don't want this to move while I do this little portion here. And to this, all I'm going to do is I am going to fold around the acetate nice and tight to that background panel that we have. You may need a bone folder just to make sure that your creases are all nice and tight. Once that's done, I can then remove the little corners. You are going to need to remove these corners so we can fold this around the background piece that we have with our stenciling. So once that's done, I can then add some tape. So I'm adding some super sticky tape to the little flaps that we have on our acetate piece now. I do find that the super sticky tape works the best, so that's why I am using this one. Once that's done, I'm then going to remove some of the tape off one of the edges, make sure it's nicely centered into place with all those little creases, and then I can remove 3 of the sides of the super sticky tape and then create some kind of like little envelope that you can see here. Once I have my envelope, I can then add in my shaker elements, and I'm going to be using the Satin White Sequins from Volcano, and I'm just going to pop them into my little envelope that we have here. Once all the little pieces are in, I can then remove that last edge of the super sticky tape and then fold that around the backing that we have. And you can see that we have that really cool shaker element, which is completely covering the front panel of our card. I'm then going to take a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card base, and I'm just going to add some tape onto the back of that, and then just add my little shaker card element piece onto the front. And here is the card complete. I really do hope that you like the card and that you've enjoyed the video as well. If you do create a card that was inspired by this, it'd be great if you do share, because we'd love to see. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and we'll see you again really, really soon. Bye-bye. Hello there, crafty friend, Lydia here. Just popping in to say that you can get your daily dose of crafting tips, techniques, and tutorials just like this by subscribing to the Volcano YouTube channel. All you need to do is click on that little bell up there and you will never miss a video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.